there's 3 different classes and character customization as well. Different voices too, so you can really make this experience what you want it to be. We're going to take our Inquisitor here, which is the male human rogue, I think. Is that right, Blair? Yeah? Alright, and we're going to grow our Inquisition's power and bring the long-standing war between the Mages and the Templars to an end. This area is called Hinterlands. It's bigger than all of Dragon Age Origins combined, and you can go anywhere that you can see here. So you've got a lot of freedom of movement and exploration.
Templar bastards killed my husband and stole the ring from his finger. They deserve to die.
You're saying the Templars attacked your husband?
Aye. He was digging out a stump. The fools couldn't tell a shovel from a mage's staff. Had to be safe, they said. Rebels everywhere attacking by surprise, sick bastards. They took the ring I gave him on our wedding day in case it was magic.
Farewell.
Yeah, Blair's a heartless bastard. He doesn't care that that woman's husband's dead. He's just like, whatever. See ya. Are you going to try and kill that box? That's gone? Alright. Okay, so up in the sky you can see this green haze. That's actually the breach, and it's a rift between the Fade and the real world. And so demons are coming through this, and it's caused a lot of chaos throughout the world. So your journey to actually uncover the truth behind who caused this rift is what our story is all about. And you're going to go across 2 different nations. You're going to see snow-topped mountains, blistering deserts, demon-infested bogs, and a whole bunch of different creepy locations. Someone was chewed because we killed a bear. I think it was up there. Anyway, so stepping beyond these kind of small random encounters, Inquisition introduces what we call the World Master system. And what that does is it dynamically populates and evolves the landscape and the content within that landscape based on the decisions and actions you've been taking throughout the course of the game. So this is really the most dynamic RPG that we've ever created.
View of the King's Road from over here.
So you can see these are Red Templars and Mages battling it out. If we'd brought this conflict to an end, you'd see something entirely different down there. So what we want to do today is end that conflict once and for all. To do that, we have to head to Redcliffe Village, and we're probably going to have to go through that battleground and get our hands dirty a little bit. The enemies that you encounter in the game are quite intelligent, so they're going to use their abilities in the environment to try and trap you and cause some really serious challenges to overcome. So you'll see them lay down traps. They might try and block off escape routes or get up on a high ground. But luckily we have a party of followers which each have their own abilities and tactics to counter the enemy's strategies. Along with that sort of real-time combat that you saw there, we also have tactical combat in Dragon Age Inquisition. So that allows us to pull the camera up, have a look at the battlefield from the top down, and see what sort of enemies we're going to be fighting, plan out our strategies, and then resume time. Here we've got what have we got, Blair? Iron Bull's about to taunt these enemies to try and get aggro and damage away from our Inquisitor rogue. We've got some knights and a defender. We're casting a firewall from Vivian, I think, yep. And then we can resume time, and that will immediately set things back into motion. arrow to the side of the head. That'll work. Okay, so you can see why we want to bring this conflict to an end. There's a lot of burning houses here, a lot of destruction. There's actually a refugee camp off to the side, which we're not going to go to today, but in your playthrough you're going to go there, help out these refugees before you bring this conflict to an end. And the Inquisitor is a leader of leaders. So all the people in your party each have their own unique leadership aspects. So Iron Bull is the commander of his own mercenary company. Vivian, who's the mage there, she's a former first enchanter at Circle of Magi. So each of the people that you bring to your cause are all bringing that power and influence to help you try and find out what's going on. First time in a Dragon Age game, we now have mounts. So mounts are really needed in a game of this size to get around to those different locations. We're using a horse today. It's a pretty standard horse, but there's a whole bunch of exotic creatures for you to find and ride across the land. My personal favourite, as I keep telling people, is the bog unicorn, which is an undead horse that's been possessed by a spirit. Is that right, Patrick? That is right. Okay, just check in with the rider. And it's got a sword stuck through its head, and that's the unicorn horn. But we call it a unicorn, a bog unicorn. Okay, so we're on our way to Redcliffe Village. This is it coming up here. This was in Dragon Age Origins. Completely rebuilt. It's been about 10 years since the events of Dragon Age Origins.
Inquisitor.
And this town will change over the course of Dragon Age Inquisition. So based on your choices and your actions, you'll see different things happen here throughout the course of the game.
Facts about our own. Some of them have ignored the order. Why you The Templars are attacking anyone they think might be aiding the Reformation.
Again last time.
No.
Blessings upon the Inquisition.
Sir, I have a thought. The next time we run into a line of enemies, I'll pick you up and throw you.
Yeah.
No, this will work. I love to know the first ones. Land behind me, flank, mayhem ensues.
Look how fly you daft it.
Think of the mayhem, sir. Mayhem.
I get a wedge up from your fears.
Look, you examine only one small enough for me to case.
We'll do some bloody presses.
So what you're seeing through the mist there is Redcliffe Castle. That's the, I guess, headquarters of the rebel mages. And what we want to do is infiltrate that and send one of our agents in. But to do that, we have to build up the power and the influence of our Inquisition. So we're going to travel to a previously explored camp that we've set up for our Inquisition and pursue one of the opportunities we have to do just that. Okay, so because we've been here before, we actually know that there's some pretty serious threat just ahead. So we want to get some new armour onto Iron Bull, which we alluded earlier. There we go. Yeah, that's cool. And along with armour, you can craft armour as well as find it in the world. We've also got about 200 different spells and abilities that you can customise your companions with and set out the tactical and strategic types of battles that you want to have. Alright, let's head on.
Have you, sir?
Let's be sure
while dragons, particularly high dragons like this one, are the apex predators in Dragon Age, you're also going to be encountering a variety of creatures like giants, demons, undead, all sorts of different weird and wonderful behemoths and crazy stuff. So there's a lot of diversity in the types of encounters you're going to have. Sort of armor and weapons and spells and abilities, and all working together to try and take it down. It's a pretty tough challenge. And it's going to allow Sarah to target the individual limbs of the dragon. And if we're successful in taking out a couple of those limbs, the dragon's going to fall over. That's going to let us get access to attacking its head, which is a bit more vulnerable. We don't normally do that in our demo, so well not blame, just ruining everything. So what we would normally do at this point is actually keep going with the demo, and we can still do that if people want, but we also have Patrick Weeks here as one of the senior writers of Mass Effect and Dragon Age, and obviously myself, producer, and Blair as associate producer. If anyone has any questions, we're happy to answer them, or we can keep going with the demo. Up to you guys. Put your hand up if you want to ask a question. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 4. So what we might do is we'll keep going with the demo, and then we can have a chat to you guys after we finish. Okay, so we've driven the dragon off, or basically killed her, really. And we're going to keep going with capturing this prize, building up the Inquisition. So what we're doing here is we're looting Veils of Mageblood, and in our world, Veils of Mageblood allow you to track and, in a way, kind of control mages. And that's going to give us leverage to get one of our scouts into Redcliffe Castle. So everything that you see from this point going forward is the result of an exclusive branching decision that we made in our playthrough. If we made something entirely different, you would see something completely different. You wouldn't see any of this. So now we've earned our power and we've got our agent in here. The way that you would do that is through the war table, which is what you're seeing here. So the war table allows you to send your agents out, command your Inquisition. You can order them to rebuild bridges, getting access to new areas. You can set up some trade with different countries or recruit different scouts into your organization. But most importantly, it's how you decide where the story goes next. So whenever you want to get involved in different parts of the story, that's the place that you do it. So this is your command center, essentially, for your Inquisition. We're also going to be using a different character makeup, or sorry, different party makeup. We've got Dorian in this party, so we've swapped out Vivian. Dorian is a Tevinter mage, so he has a vested interest in dealing with the rebel mages in Redcliffe, and he knows some of the people involved. So because we've brought Dorian along, we're going to have a different set of dialogue and a different set of results coming through than if we had someone else. And that's Dorian.
Might be some news around here.
Well, that was impressive.
Anger is stronger than any pain. Do you have weapons? Good. The Magister's probably in his chambers.
You aren't curious how we got here?
No. Our mages always wonder why people fear them. No one should have this power.
Some of you may recognise Liliana from Dragon Age Origins. People nod in the head. Yeah, there you go. Liliana's really popular.
Stop talking.
I'm just asking for information.
Okay, I'll stop
No,
talking.
you're talking to fill silence. Nothing happened that you want to hear.
That was great timing. So we sent Liliana here. She was the agent that we decided to send in, and because she went in, got captured and tortured, that's now going to have a damaging influence and impact on our relationship with Liliana. So Inquisition with your party members, it's not just about how you build up your relationship, but you can also cause some really damaging results for them.
The breach! It's everywhere.
Don't look up. Don't look up. Don't look. Shit. I looked.
So what you're seeing up there is the breach. We saw it earlier on, but at this point, shit's got real basically, and it's coming in everywhere. So demons are pouring out of this, but as the Inquisitor, you have a mark on your hand, which is a result of you being blasted into the Fade, and that allows you to close some of these smaller rifts that are also popping up around the world. But you have to push back the demons first. doing so increases the Inquisition's influence in the area, and it's also a great way to get these shards that help you enchant your weapons and armor with some magical effects, so that's a little pro tip for everyone.
What happened here?
Suddenly had very questionable taste.
We can get that vent with the book if we sneak up.
So another way that we can go about combat, we showed it a little bit earlier on with the tactical cam. So this is a great tactical fight. We can see a spellbinder, he has weakness to cold, so Blair can cast a cold spell. No, he's going to backstab, sorry. You're not going to use one of the mages in your party? No, alright, whatever. What else are we doing? Okay, so firewall to block off